Yeah, so this robbery right here probably takes the cake. Remember when I said,
And I can't tell you that I learned from my mistakes because I got robbed 2 other times after that. But
well, this is part 2. And this one is probably a little bit more crazier because it was more in person than, the last one was online. I want to give a special thank you to the stranger that robbed me. In this story, his name is Mr. Robber, because I just couldn't think of anything else better. I got robbed. Part 2. Let's get into it. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, can you give this video a nice thick like right down below? And then right over to the right of that, wait, let me see. Yeah, right over to the right of that, please give me a subscribe. And if you want to see part 3 of how I got robbed, comment that down below. Let me know. I feel like I need to have a crystal in my hand as I'm telling this story. Let me just...
I think you're my subsistence. Hey, you, or am I wrong?
I'm gonna take you guys on a journey from start to finish of exactly how this night went. And it's a mess. So I had just got out of work. It was around like 12. And I decided that, well, usually I would take the city bikes home because I felt like it was easier and it was quicker and I loved the ride. So it was a really nice night and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the city bikes home. So I walk to the city bike station and there's no e-bikes, which is okay. I was like, all right, I'll just get a regular bike. So I get on a regular bike and then I start heading home and I see another bike rack. It was relatively near my house, but I see another bike rack and I see that there's an e-bike on there. Mind you, I've had like a stressful day. It was like, it wasn't a shit day, but it was just like one of those days. So I see the e-bike and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just get off and then just ride for a little bit on the e-bike. So I got the e-bike and I started riding and I kept riding. Like I went past my house, I went around, I literally just went around town, then I went to Williamsburg and I was in Williamsburg riding around, and as soon as I got to Williamsburg actually is when the bike literally stopped e-biking, if that makes sense. So like it just stopped working. It was like, it was hard to pedal, so I was like, okay, the bike died, gotta go get a new one. So I'm looking around, looking at my phone, trying to see where the nearest station is. And it says that there's one right down the road. So I'm like, okay, well, where is that at? And I'm looking again, I'm like, okay, there has to be one closer. Like, this shit is hard to pedal. And suddenly this guy he was literally on a bike. He was on an e-bike, but it was spray painted black. So this guy comes behind me and he's like, oh, you need something? And I was like, and let me describe the guy to you too. He was like tall, light-skinned. He had a blue mask on. Me describing it like you guys are the FBI. Get that. He was tall, light-skinned. Yeah, he had a blue mask on and it was like ripped up. It was weird. Mind you, this was literally the start of the pandemic, like in the beginning of the pandemic. So he comes up to me and he's like, are you looking for something? And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for a bike station. So he literally points across the street and I look up and mind you, on my map on my phone, it wasn't showing up. Like there was no stations. Maybe my phone was just fucking up, but he points across the street and there's a station. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I go over there and I park my bike or whatever, and then I look over and there's another e-bike. I said, okay, well, I might as well jump on this one so that way I can hurry home, like it's late. I get on the e-bike I unlock the e-bike and then I'm standing on the bike at the station, like standing on the bike. I don't want to say half and half because your legs are already half and half on. So I'm standing on the bike and I pull out my AirPods. Literally, I had just pulled out, I put my phone away, but then I was like, oh, I want to listen to music, and I just got AirPods. So I pulled out my AirPods, Mind you, he is on the right of me. My AirPods are on the left. So, till this day, I don't know how he saw me pull out my AirPods. But yeah, so I pulled out the case just a little bit. And I'm even leaning over here while I'm opening it up. So I pull out one AirPod, put it in this hand, and then I put it right here. I have my case still in my hand. So then I put that one in my ear, and then I put the AirPod case back in my pocket. Right after I do that, I shit you not, I look over and he's right there. Just standing. And he was like, oh, where you about to go to after this? And I was like, oh, I'm going home. Like I was just parking the bike to get a new bike to go home. Like I was just headed home. He was like, oh, what kind of headphones are those? I was like, what? What headphones? He said, the ones that you got, like the ones that's in that ear over the ones that's in that ear over there. I was like, oh, it's like I was like, it's like some fake AirPods. Like I got them for like $10. They were real. And he was like, oh, can I see? Like I just got these new headphones. And then he pulls out some headphones. And as he's pulling it out, like we're both looking at the headphones and it clearly says Raycon on it. So he pulls out the headphones and he's like, yeah, I don't know what kind these are. I was like, oh, it says it's Raycon. I think it's Raycon. He was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, that's Ray J's headphones. I was like, yeah. How long have you had them? He was like, I actually just got them last week. And it was like, oh, okay. All right, well, I'm about to go. And he was like, wait. And I was like, okay. He was like, can I see your headphones? And I was like, nah, like, yours are better. Yours are much better, I promise. And he was like, well, I just want to see. I just want to compare just in case, I got gypped over or some shit. I don't know. And I was like, okay. Well, sorry. He was like, well, at least do you at least have the case to it? Because I know it comes with a case. I was like, yeah, but the case is like, I told you they were $10, so it's just not working like that. And then I was about to start pedaling, and then he was like, wait. He kind of like pulled up a little bit, and he was like, wait. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, well, can I see him? Like, I just want to see him real quick. And then he pulls the hole. He was like, we both black, like we gotta stick together. You can't, come on, like you gotta be able to trust me. You can't trust your brothers, blah, blah, blah. So when he say that, I'm like, okay, I need to trust my brothers. In the world that we're living in today, I need to be able to trust my brothers. So I was like, okay, but you ain't gonna just give him the whole case, Raekwon. You're gonna just give him that one and let him see it. So then and like I said before, this is the start of this is literally in the middle of the pandemic. It was probably like June. So he takes the headphone and then he puts it in his ear and then he's like, play some music. Mind you, I'm listening to Adina Menzel. Anyways, but so I just hit play and he's just literally like listening for a sec. And then he was like, oh, can I see the other one? I just want to see what it sounds like how loud it gets, because I know my shits get loud. And I was like, okay, well, I just don't trust it. Like, I don't want to, I don't know you. And he was like, come on, we're brothers, blah, blah, blah. So then he was like, look, this is what I'll do. So he gave me his Raycons to hold while he used my other headphone. And I'm like, okay. Well, I have something of yours, and you now have something of mine that you know is fake. So I give him my other headbuds. He gives me the Raycons, and I'm holding it. And then he listens to it a little bit. He basically disses mine, says that they're not loud enough. He was like, yeah, you really did get them cheap shits. Anyways, so so he gives them back to me, and then I give him back his Raycons. And now he wants to see the case. Mind you, I have the headphones now. So now he wants me to give him the case. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you a case. So I didn't end up giving him a case, and he was like, all right. and then he pretends to leave, and I put, you know, my case in my pocket, and then I don't put my headphones in because I'm like, he just had them on, and I don't wanna, you know. He pretends to ride off, and then next thing you know, I look over and he has a knife in his hand, like literally with the quickness. I don't know where, it was just literally like some samurai. Like, but it was like this small. So he has the knife and he's holding it up like this. And we just staring at each other. He said, "What you gonna do?" And I'm just staring, and I was like, what? And then he pushes me. So because I'm on the bike, I'm half, like, my leg is stuck under the other bike. So he pushes me down, and literally, like, he pushed me at a good angle because the headphones were in that pocket. So he must have planned it. Skilled. Mr. Robber, you're skilled. So he pushes me down, and then he literally takes the AirPod, like, the case out of my pocket, and then he rides off. As he's riding off, I'm up here like yelling and shit. I'm like, "Contract those." I'm starting to cry and shit. And he's like, "But they fake though. You can't track the fake ones." And then he's riding off, and then he stops and he's like, "Come follow me." And I'm like, "No, like, you're gonna lure me somewhere and then use that little knife of yours." So I kind of just rolled home and I cried. It wasn't the situation that made me cry, if that makes sense. I think it was the simple, because I was still in shock over that. So I think what really made me cry was the simple fact that I afterpaid the headphones. So he still has them, and I was paying off on them. Yeah. But I think now that I settled down, I am traumatized by, you know, all people that come up near me on city bikes and things, you know. Dumbfounded. And then the fact that he was just sitting up there interrogating me like he was Annalise Keating or something, like, that's just really what got me, I feel like. Luckily, my AirPods are paid off now, and I have some new ones. I honestly wait until I start riding, and then I put my headphones in now, even till this day, like, or I'll step out the house with them real quick, and I'll put it on real low and just speed walk to the bikes. And now when you go to the bikes, they have, like, the scanning where you can scan to unlock the bikes, so it's much easier, much faster now. I don't know why I don't know why I didn't just ride away. At the end of the day, my bike was faster than his. He had the regular city bike spray painted black, and I had the e-bike. So not only did he take my AirPods that I was still paying on, my e-bike was out, so I was paying to get robbed. Thank you guys so much for sticking all the way through this video. If you like this video and you want to see more story times, please comment that down below. There is one more how I got robbed story in the works. Let me know when you want that. If you want it now, comment that down below. Let me know. Let me know. Also, if nobody told you this week, last week, or the week before that, you are loved, baby. And I know you are doing your best. I know. I love you guys so much. Have a great day.
You know